I have the QF QF002 baby. It's a 2-channel plane. So you get the plane, you get some screws to put it together with. You do have to put it together with screws. No glue is required. I like that. I like it when you can bolt everything together. Comes with a spare set of props. Comes with a screwdriver to put it together. Comes with two 1S 220 milliamp hour 25C LiPos. The transmitter requires 3 AAA batteries. It comes with everything except for the AAA batteries for the transmitter, and it's got this little tab, locking tab on the top, so that the little ones don't accidentally pop the back off of the transmitter, you know, where the batteries are. So you take that little locking tab off the top, pull your panel off, and there's your 3 AAA batteries. So it's very straightforward, very simple. All right, so you have your throttle on the left, you have your left turn and your right turn on the right hand stick. There's a button on the top for lights. There's a button on the bottom for flash. Those are not functional. There's no lights on it. You have your power button here, and you have a rate switch here. So when it's in low rates, you get a solid LED light down here next to the power button. And you can click this and put it into high rates, and you'll get a constant flashing LED light next to the power button. And what the high rate does is allows it to turn a tighter turn. It has 2 motors, and it uses differential thrust to be able to turn it. And to make it ascend and descend, you just use throttle. This is a great way to get kids interested in RC aircraft, get them off the couch, get them away from the TV, get them off the phone, get them away from the game system, get them outside doing something. And it's cheap as beans. This is provided courtesy of Banggood. I want to thank them for sending it for review. I have 2 of these planes that I am going to be reviewing, and one is this flying reptile. So these are 2 cool little planes. They're made by the same company. One thing that I discovered that I tested out was I could bind to both of these with 1 transmitter. So then I tested it. I powered one up, I bound up to it with the transmitter, made sure it was working, and then I powered up the other one, bound up to it with the other transmitter, made sure it was working. And they're not interfering with each other, so the kids will be able to fly these at the same time. So that's awesome. So when it binds up, it must be creating a bind code, so that it only listens to the transmitter that it's bound up to. The fact that you can put multiple 2-channel planes in the air at the same time is great, so that the kids can actually fly together. Okay. The other thing I like about this is it has a power button, a power switch on the bottom, so you can get everything ready to go, get the battery charged up, get the battery in it, get the battery charged up, get the battery in it, and get ready to go out to the park or out to the field and put it in the air without having to fumble around with the batteries out there. So the only time that you're going to have to fumble with the battery is when you switch out the battery for a fresh one. It comes with 2 batteries, 2 of these batteries. Okay, so, and it comes with a USB charger as well, and this color manual. It tells you everything you need to know. So there's a connector that connects to the bottom of the wing. There's a cable and a socket on the bottom of the wing that power the 2 motors. So you need to connect the cable to the socket, and then you have 2 screws that holds the main wing onto the fuselage. The vertical stabilizer has a little peg that slots into the horizontal stabilizer. Both of these fit on top of the fuselage, and then you have a single screw back here that ties everything together using the provided screwdriver. And then the landing gear just slots in. The wheel that has the little spring loop on the front of it goes in the front, and then you have your main landing gear in the back that just slots in, and you can see that there's an angle to it, so you want the angle facing back. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and we'll bind up to it. So we power up the plane, and you can see the flashing LED light. And then we're going to power on the transmitter, and you're also going to get a flashing LED light. To bind the transmitter to the plane, you're going to move the throttle stick all the way up to the top, all the way back down, and now you have a solid light on the transmitter. And if you flip the plane over, you'll see you got a solid light on the plane, which means that they're bound up. So now if I give it throttle, you can see that it's got some push to it. And if I move the directional stick, it uses differential thrust, so it'll speed one motor up and slow the other one down to make it turn left and turn right. One thing that's really cool about this, and watch this, I'll power it on a little bit, give it a little bit of throttle. Now watch when I rotate it. So the plane actually has a gyro built into it. So unless you're giving it left or right control from the transmitter, the gyro will speed up and slow down the motors to keep it going completely straight. I'll have links to everything in the show notes. I want to thank Banggood for sending these for review. We are ready to go. I will see you out at the field. Okay, I have the QF baby out here. I'm already bound up to it. I removed the landing gear because just the landing gear get torn up or bent up out here. But what I found is I like it with the controller on high rates better than I do on low rates. And with this plane, I actually had to add a little tail weight to it. It was really nose heavy. So what I have is I just have a dime midway between the trailing edge of the wing and the leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer, so you could just glue that to the bottom of the fuselage, or use something lighter than a dime and just put it back there on the tail, like a couple of BBs or something like that. But let's go ahead and get it in the air. There's a happy place for balance on these planes, and there's a happy place for throttle. And when you're turning it, since it uses part of the thrust to turn the plane, you want to increase your throttle just a little bit. Now let's see if we can. I wanted to bring it down a little bit in altitude. Well, the kids will have a blast with these little planes. You know, the controls take a little bit of finesse, but kids are faster at figuring that stuff out than adults are, aren't they? Now, these are calm wind day planes. These planes are so lightweight. I've got a little bit of a breeze out here, which is why you see it doing this porpoising thing. Whoa, watch the cactus. I almost hit the cactus. So when it hits a breeze, it will pitch up. It's definitely a calm wind day plane. You can see the gyro rocking it back and forth, trying to keep it straight. So now I'm just backing off the throttle. And then when you turn, increase the throttle a little bit, like so. I think it's hitting some wind right now. It's still wanting to climb, even though I'm backing off of the throttle. But these things are just as durable as anything. These little planes, and well, for kids, you want them to be durable, right? That is too funny. I don't know if I started my timer. I always forget to start my timer. But they're fun little planes, especially for kids, you know, to get them interested in RC stuff. And because there's nothing to them, you know, you got throttle, you got left and right control, and that's it. That's pretty neat though, isn't it? For something that small, that lightweight. I think it's funner than a chuck glider, you know. Those little chuck gliders, kids just throw them around. And those are a blast too, but being able to fly something with a control is pretty darn neat. Okay, so let's come back around here and see if we can belly land it. Alright, so I'm going to bring it back through here. Might get a long run at it. Come over the cactus. We don't want to pull cactus thorns out of foam. That is not fun. Ah! I think the flying reptile looks cooler in the air than the plane does. You know, this little flying reptile. There's going to be links to both of them in the show notes, but I really like this one. Links are in the show notes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Tinkerz Lab.